Happy Friday. Hope you're doing well and the coffee is doing its job. I've got 3 immigration stories for you today, and they all connect to one big theme: a push in Congress to remake how tech hiring works for international students and skilled workers. Here's the headline. On Wednesday, Senator Jim Banks introduced the American Tech Workforce Act. The bill does a few major things. First, it would raise the minimum required salary for H-1B jobs from $60,000 to at least $110,000, with scheduled increases that could reach $150,000. Second, it would shift H-1B selection away from the current lottery and toward a system that picks higher-paying offers first. And third, it targets staffing firms by limiting placements at third-party client sites to 1-year approvals. Let's unpack that in plain English. If you're on or applying for H-1B, the wage floor is the lowest salary an employer can use to sponsor you. Raising that floor means early career roles, especially in lower-cost cities, might no longer qualify, while mid-career and senior roles likely would. Switching from a lottery to a pay-based selection means job offers with higher salaries would be more likely to win a spot. And the 1-year limit for third-party placements is aimed at consulting models where workers sit at client sites. That would tighten how those firms plan projects and renewals. The bill also goes straight at OPT, which is the work authorization many F1 students use during or after school. Today, most graduates get up to 12 months of OPT, and STEM grads can add a 24-month extension. There's also CPT, which schools use to authorize internships tied to your program while you're still studying. The proposal would end OPT entirely, which means students would lose that bridge into the job market unless they switch into another status immediately. That's a big shift for both students and the companies that depend on that early career talent pipeline. Why does this matter beyond the headlines? Because it changes who gets opportunities and how employers hire. Higher H-1B salary thresholds could boost pay in some roles, but also narrow entry points for new grads. Ending OPT would remove a common path to gain U.S. work experience after graduation, especially for STEM grads who planned on those extra 2 years. And replacing the lottery with a wage-based system would favor companies and regions that can offer bigger salaries. Where are we in the process? This is a bill, not a law. It needs to move through committees, pass both chambers, and get signed by the president. That can take time, and bills often change along the way. So if you're a student graduating this year, or an employer planning spring hiring, current rules still apply until Congress actually passes something and a start date is set. A quick refresher if you're new to these terms: H-1B is the main work visa for specialty jobs that typically require a bachelor's degree or higher. Demand exceeds the annual cap most years, so there's been a random lottery to decide who gets a shot. Optional practical training, work authorization tied to your F1 student status, and the STEM extension adds up to 2 more years for certain fields. CPT is the school-authorized work you can do while you're still in your program, usually an internship that's integral to your coursework. So what should people watch? If you're a student, ask your school's international office about timelines and alternatives so you understand your options under current rules. If you're an employer, consider how higher salary thresholds and a wage-based selection would change your budget, job levels, and where you recruit. And everyone should watch for committee hearings and revised bill text, because that's where the details get hammered out. That's the latest for this Friday. We'll keep tracking what changes and what stays the same. For updates and clear explainers, I use Verge.com as my source. It's a solid way to stay grounded in facts. Thanks for listening, and take care.